Yeah, if you go way back, I was one of those kids that was in the special needs classes. It's having trouble with spelling, and so at the time, dyslexia was not really understood, and I was one of the first kids that were diagnosed with dyslexia. But where you're challenged in one area, you typically have a lot of advantages in another. Mm-hmm. And the interesting fact is that a abnormally high proportion of CEOs are dyslexic. Mm-hmm. You tend to look at problems a little differently than someone who isn't. So you can take those challenges and turn them into advantages, and that's what I did. And I started actually writing software to help other children that were facing the same challenges as me. So that's really what got me into technology at 12 years old, I think.
And how was that path for you? What made you, at some point, realize you wanted to become an entrepreneur? What was the trigger, if any?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I've always, even as a child, wanted to do things for myself, to be self-reliant. So as my friends were trying to earn extra money by delivering newspapers, I'd figured out how to start a business myself to make money, again, at 12, 13 years old. And so I kind of took that early entrepreneurial experience and just kept it going as my career has developed.
So just to be clear, have you ever had a formal job at a company, or you started early on as an entrepreneur?
I have, but for a very short time, literally 2 years, I think. So very little.
And that's an interesting point that I'd like to talk, very often. Do you think that was an advantage or maybe a compromise, not having that formal? Because we hear a lot. That's the common knowledge kind of tells us, oh no, first you work for 5 or 10 years in a corporate job, learn a few things, and then you become an entrepreneur, and then you start your own company. Yeah. How did that play out to you? Like, did you see as a problem, like the inexperience, or not?
I think there are advantages and disadvantages. Sometimes the structure that companies put around you can actually hold you back. And so perhaps I was, by not having that depth of experience, mm-hmm. it propelled me to move forward as an entrepreneur. Without realizing perhaps some of the risks I was taking.
Maybe without growing any vices or biases.
Yeah, but I would also say as well that you obviously do learn a lot by working inside of a larger organization, and that is something I perhaps missed out on. But hey, we've done all right, we're here, right?
I guess, somewhat all right. So tell us a little bit about your companies and the journey, because from what I know about your first company, you were providing services, like you said, helping Intel products. What went on after that?
Yeah, so as we mentioned earlier, the time Intel was having trouble getting customers to use the product they had bought, which was Landesk, and they called it shelfware at the time because people would buy the product. It's back when you didn't download it, right? It came in like a box, and they'd put it on the shelf and never install it.
But that's still the norm in the market. We've been seeing a lot of this happening as well, right? Didn't change in 25 years.